Hey guys, we're going to talk about food today, and I'll try not to make this like super long video of just me talking about food for 15 minutes, but I love food a lot, so it could happen. But we cooked for ourselves the majority of the time on this trip, so I thought I would share some of the things that we did so that, you know, maybe if you guys like to cook at home and you want to try and do that to save some money and some time, then you could. But, you know, I think a lot of people figure that when they go on vacation that you have to eat out or something. Like they get it in their heads that you can't possibly make food for yourself when you're not at home, which is totally not true. Most of the hostels that we went to, I made sure to try and book places that had kitchens. Not all of the hostels that we needed to stay in had kitchens available. Like sometimes if we were staying in certain cities, there was only one hostel. Like in Germany, in Weimar, there was only one youth hostel. It did have a kitchen, but, you know, sometimes you stay in a place where if there's only one hostel and it doesn't have a kitchen, there's not much you can do about that. So you just have to figure out something else, whether you're going to actually go to a restaurant or a deli or something, or just, you know, make sandwiches, which you can totally do. And we made a lot of sandwiches, especially once we found peanut butter. We had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because it's good for on-the-go food. Like, you don't want to have to stop in the middle of your day and have this big, like, long sit-down meal if you have things to do. Like, if you have an agenda, if you're trying to get to places before they close, or you just don't want to stop, you know, you're having a good time. So we took snacks with us. We had bananas pretty much the entire time because you can get bananas everywhere. We made, like, trail mix, so we got, like, mixed nuts and raisins and whatever. We carried around food bags with us, so we had things like dry goods, so rice and pasta. We had quick oats for making oatmeal in the mornings, which we just added like honey and cinnamon, and it was delicious. It was totally super easy too, because most youth hostels, even if they don't have a kitchen, they'll have like those electric tea kettles that just, you know, boil water in 90 seconds. So you just pour boiling water on the oats and cover them up and let them sit for like 5 minutes, and there you go. So, I mean, super easy. Like, there's no need to take up all of your time and money going and finding a place to eat out and then paying for something that, you know, you could just spend a lot less money at the grocery store. And it's really cool to go to the grocery store too, because that's where, like, regular people go, people that live there. And so you're not, you know, just surrounded by tourists all the time. And it feels really good to me to be self-sufficient in that way. Like, it just always feels good to know that I'm in control. I'm not like at the mercy of the restaurants, which sometimes we felt a little bit like that on the trip before we really got our groove going of our cooking and, you know, figuring out meals and stuff. Sometimes we felt like, oh crap, well, we have to eat out now and we have to spend this money that we don't really want to spend, because it can potentially suck a lot of money out of your wallet, out of your bank account, eating out all the time. So if you absolutely must eat out, then I guess maybe budget for that. But I don't know, I just don't think you have to eat out the whole time. And I don't think you should. I think that you should mix it up. So anyway, like I was saying, we carried around food bags. So we had the dry goods. We had a bag filled with like spices and seasonings. So we had like salt and pepper and cinnamon and oregano and whatever else in there. In Rome, I don't know if you remember, I had said we had to buy like plastic plates and cutlery, and we bought this big plastic fruit bowl to mix things in, and we ended up using that in one of the food bags to like set things in. And we had bought like if we had any like bottles of beer or something, we wrapped them in a bunch of plastic bags and put them on the bottom, and then put this bowl on top. So I don't know, we were really efficient about how we were carrying things around too. But that bowl kind of came in handy because we put actual fruit in it. We put like bananas and apples and whatever other things we had, snacks, because we made trail mix, you know, like nuts and sunflower seeds and raisins and whatever. And I really recommend having snacks with you, or like making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich as a snack or something when you're going to be out walking around, because you'll be really tempted to buy a really expensive treat or drink or something often if you don't have snacks, because, you know, you're walking around, you're burning calories, you're expending all this energy, and you're getting hungry, and you're walking by places that have really good smelling food. You should probably have something to shove in your face, because you're gonna I don't know, you're gonna impulse buy. My brother did a little bit of impulse buying of like, oh, I really want a cappuccino, and he bought one, and he's not supposed to really have dairy either, and then he's all congested and sick and wished that he hadn't spent, you know, $6 on a cappuccino that made him sick. So, you know, sometimes you just have to be kind of prepared in the way of food as well. Be prepared that your stomach's gonna growl. I think we did a pretty good job. We didn't really have anything go bad because we didn't carry around perishable things. Like whenever we got to a new place, we would usually, after we got settled in, we would go ask where's the nearest grocery store and have them draw on the map, or we would have seen it on the way and say, okay, we're going to go back to the grocery store as soon as we get our bags put in the hostel, and we would buy like eggs and meat and vegetables or whatever we were going to make for dinner that night, or the next couple of nights. We wouldn't buy, you know, enough like you would buy groceries at home, because hello, we're only going to be in a place for a couple of days. So we would buy enough for, you know, whatever meals we were going to make. And then, you know, when we get to the next place, then we would buy more perishable goods. So sometimes we carried around eggs with us, because in Europe, they don't refrigerate their eggs in the grocery store. I can't remember, somebody told me why. It's something to do with like the shell of how they process or clean them, or I don't know what it is, but they don't need to refrigerate them. And so if you're really careful, you can carry around eggs with you. But we only did that a couple of times because we weren't gonna try and like gobble up, you know, a whole bunch of eggs if we didn't need to. But we did make, I forgot, we made French toast too. French toast is super easy because you just need eggs and cinnamon and bread and syrup if you want syrup. But it's super cool. Like you can just do really, really neat things. And we made some really like interesting meals when we had like a bunch of stuff left over. We were trying to use our food, you know. We were like, what can we make with beans and cabbage and rice and hamburger, you know, just throw it all together, and taco seasoning on top. I mean, it sounds kind of funny, but we made some really delicious meals that were probably really weird sounding and looking, but they tasted great. I don't know, it was a really fun thing. We had a really good time. I made sure to list like on our like places, not places to go, not sightseeing, but like resources. I had like papers with resources and stuff on them. I wrote down names of grocery stores because the guidebooks will actually tell you where grocery stores are too. Because the mini marts are the ones that are obvious, but the actual grocery stores with the big selection, you don't see those just walking down the street, because a lot of times they're in like the basement or inside of a train station. So you have to like walk in the train station and boom, there's a grocery store. It's kind of strange, but you need to go to like a bigger grocery store to get a really good selection. And there's some really sweet grocery stores. And we bought most of our alcohol at grocery stores too. It's way cheaper. We of course went to some pubs because you want the pub experience as well. Like, yeah, we went to an Irish pub or whatever, but it's way cheaper to get like beers and wines and spirits and stuff at the grocery store. And it's a lot of times it's the same stuff, it's just not on tap. So it was just, I don't know. I just don't know why. It's one of those things where for me it's such common sense to fend for yourself and be resourceful. I just don't know why people would spend tons of money going out to eat all the time. So that's my personal opinion though. So sorry, don't mean to like offend anyone if you feel like you need to eat out like most of the time, but at least for breakfast. At least don't eat out for breakfast all the time or ever. Unless you're just going to like a bakery or something, because you can totally do that. There's bakeries everywhere, and you can just go to a bakery early in the morning and grab some fresh baked rolls or whatever. It's really delicious, actually. We walked by a lot of them, and it smells really yummy. And you can go to delis, and you can pick out, you know, like deli selections, kind of like how we have like cold case deli, like macaroni salads and stuff. They have places like that too. And you can go to a butcher shop, and they'll have cooked meat, and they can make you a sandwich at a butcher shop too. So there's so many options. Just explore them a little. Like if you already know the places that you're gonna go on your trip, maybe do a little research on what their like main grocery store chain is if you want to go to the grocery store, or just ask. As always, ask questions, because it doesn't hurt to ask questions. And if you are super adventurous, try to go to like an open air market. Like we saw open air markets in Greece, and there was one in Florence, but I didn't get to go to that one because I was sick. But there was one in Vienna, super cool open air market that had like, you know, you could buy meat and like cold, you know, perishable things, but they also had like dried fruits, and you know, you can buy wine from some of these open air markets. It's just really neat. Just explore it a little bit and don't box yourself into feeling like, oh, I have to eat out. And for God's sakes, please, Americans, please don't go eat at McDonald's unless you just really, really need to. I just think it's silly. Like, I don't like fast food anyway, but going to another country and eating McDonald's is just weird to me. Like, just eat what they have there. Eat their food. McDonald's is gross, and it's like an American thing anyway. It's like, why would you want to take all of that? Like, going to another country and seeking out American food is just weird to me. Like, eat what's there because it's super yum, and you're not going to have it any other, you know, you're not going to have it as authentic as it when you're in the country that food is from. So, including McDonald's, I guess. I don't know. All right, I will step down off of my no fast food soapbox. Hopefully this was an okay video. Sorry if it was kind of like, ho-hum, but like I said, I could talk about food forever. But yeah, I guess I will see you guys next time. Talk to you next time, and we'll be talking about Vienna. So, see you later.